The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Okay, listening to Sportsnet 650 and also listening to Jerry Jones and some Jim Rutherford, I'm beginning to be very afraid of old people, okay? And I'm getting older, so this is going to be an experience.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name's Kyle Bowen, one loves the Don't Doze Art Lab, for giving us the space to give you that West Coast bias, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Yes, FanDuel, doing its thing, right? The NFL starting up in, right now. That's what it feels like. Micah Parsons, a Packer. And if you want to play, the game a different way, download the FanDuel app and start planning your future bets right now, a.k.a. put a lot of money on the Green Bay Packers winning a Super Bowl eventually. I'm talking really eventually. Anyways, will your Vancouver Canucks win a Stanley Cup eventually? I hope so. That's why I drink a lot of water, right? I tell people all the time. I'm getting older. I'm stuttering my words. Sometimes like Rutherford, sometimes like Jerry Jones. I got to drink water and live a very long time to give myself as many chances to witness the dream come true, and that's your Vancouver Canucks winning a Stanley Cup. And man, oh man. Shout out to Fiji. Man, oh man. Jerry Jones reminding me of Jim Rutherford, and yeah, listen to Halford and Brough this morning, and they did it even more. Okay, comparing to some extent, our Jim Rutherford, our president, right, to the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, guys who have a lot of power with pretty significant franchises. I know Dallas championships, America's team. The lore, right? The Canucks don't have a Stanley Cup. They don't have championships. I'm sorry. They don't, have that legacy amongst the rest of the NHL. But again, this seems important. We're in Canada. We're in Vancouver. We're deprived. We're depressed. We're desperate. And we're in love with the game of hockey. Okay. Do the math. The Canucks really, really, really matter. So both these guys, old guys, 70 to 80 years old. I think Jerry Jones is 82. Those guys have a lot of power. They're making decisions, and they talk a lot. Now, in recent history, Rutherford, right, did the whole Quinn Hughes thing. Quinn Hughes wants to play with his brothers. A shocker, very WWE-like, very NFL-like, very Jerry Jones-like. What are you doing? That makes absolutely no sense at all, even though it does, but you should just shut the puck up. It's so obvious. You're the president of the Vancouver Canucks, not the Arizona Coyotes. That should not be happening. Let it happen on the low, but don't give the fan base that type of communication. Yeah, I like the transparency and it's fun, but take care of us. And make it seem like you got this thing under control. AKA less is more. And this is Vancouver. We just want results on the ice. Okay, transparency is cool and all, but just get us some wins. And I don't think that made this whole operation easier. Telling the whole world and telling Quinn Hughes, right, that Quinn Hughes wants to play with his brothers. And then following that up with some sort of tampering, okay? But again, Jim Rutherford, probably had a couple passes, didn't get in trouble for it. But hey, he said a lot. And Jerry Jones saying a lot too. That's always said a lot, okay? In recent history, calling Micah Parsons Michael Parsons, saying they want to stop the rush. Who cares about the pass rush? I'm paraphrasing, but Michael Parsons, not Micah Parsons, or Micah Parsons, not Michael Parsons, Micah Jordan. You do the math. This guy's not on your team anymore, and it seems as if, again, at 80 plus years old, he's doing too much too. So, yeah, I'm getting older, 32 and a half years old. Rutherford, 70 plus. Jerry Jones, 80 plus. Rutherford, again, recent history talking a lot. Even if you want to kick it back to the Globe and Mail article that came out after the Canucks played pretty good against, was it St. Louis and Nashville, right? And yeah, maybe Rutherford did that interview a couple days before. He probably did. But I feel as if any smart organization, in my opinion, any poised one, any mature one, would probably avoid putting something out like that after a 2-game winning streak, okay? In a fight for the playoffs. Yeah, you want to be transparent with us and let the fan base know that it was Valentino Martini Mancini and not Lafreniere, right? Coming our way for JT Miller. Like the quote unquote trade value was not going to be sexy enough for the fan base. Let's go talk to the Globe and Mail. Let's release this. Yeah, we won 2 games, but who cares? I got to talk. I got to let the fans know. The optics mattered more than what was happening on the ice in that moment. And yeah, dysfunctional dressing room, Miller and Pettersson, a 2-game winning streak wasn't going to fix everything. It wasn't. But what if? What if the article doesn't come out and they win 3, they win 4, they win 5 because they got talent, right? And what's the age-old saying in sport, right? It's not just father time always wins. It's also winning fixes everything. But there again, Rutherford releases that article, the Globe and Mail. He had the power to, postpone that, wait for like a 3-game losing streak or something. But no, it was after a win against Nashville, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. That we all saw that. And yeah, the fan base they could have been without that at that time. All in all, though, these guys talking a lot and getting older. And for the third time, I'm getting older. So this, I don't know, belief that there may be some parallels between, I don't know, Rutherford and Jerry Jones, former champions, and now great grandpas, I know I shouldn't be going to bed with this and, giving it any light, but yeah, it's the morning. I just woke up and I'm listening to Halford and Brough. So blame them for, is it toxicity or, I don't know, science? What's opposite of science? Hope. Okay, let's hope that's not the case. Let's hope Rutherford doesn't mispronounce the first names of our best players. Like, I hope he still remembers Quinn's name is Quinn and not Christopher. Let's say less overall. Let's just win games. Okay, let's just win games. Transparency to me, again, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Is it that important to you? Like, maybe if I'm 20, maybe if I'm like 70 and I'm not addicted to my phone, like, it's cool to have all this quote unquote access. But at 30 and so desperate for a cup, yeah, I just want wins. Anyways, what are we, like 9 minutes into this conversation? We haven't gotten to the comments? Yo, we being selfish, man. Let's read some. Bob Luger saying, you think Rutherford's loose lips are him losing touch or it's all part of his strategy? Look. The strategy is what? Pissing off his players or, again, being transparent, letting the fan base know ahead of time what is coming based on the undertones of whatever he is saying. Okay, cool. If that's the strategy, maybe it's all part of that. But Rutherford, this Vancouver, man, we just want wins. Again, we don't need transparency. On Bluger's other point, do I think he's losing touch? Again, 70+ years old. We crack jokes, but after consuming that much Micah Parsons content and that much Jerry Jones content over the last 24 hours, because it's hysterical, I'm not gonna lie. The whole age thing and owning or being the president or having that much power in a sports team, like science, I don't know. I just father time, right? And then you look at recent history. there's reasons to be scared, reasons to draw parallels. Again, there's a lot of talk in this year. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Next comment. Okay, Bob Luger is saying, I think he's saying like the strategy that he was alluding to is trying to use the media to negotiate with other teams. It seems undisciplined or maybe old school. Yeah, maybe. But how about, just, I don't know, stay calm. Don't give out the leaks. And just do it the old-fashioned way, like the real old-fashioned way before the media. Just make the phone calls, be the better negotiator, and get it done. That's what I'm trying to say. For me, at this time in my fandom, like, and post-consuming, again, all that Jerry Jones, just less is more. Say less. Say less. I don't want to hear it. I just want dubs. I just want dubs. Anyways, we'll read more comments and talk more about, I don't know, the Vancouver Canucks on August 29th. Man, oh man. Trevor Beggs, man. I say it all the time, man. We got the toughest job in the world. Jokes. I say that full sentence, okay? Anyways, you're listening to Locked On Canucks. Let's shout out our friends, read some comments, and, see what the future holds. In other words, drink some water. All right, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. We just talked about it, right? Futures bets. You can do all that on FanDuel.com. I'm pretty sure, I'm probably wrong on this, but if you place $1,000 on the Green Bay Packers, you'll win $1,001 back. Okay? $1. That's all you'll get. Because it's a guarantee. All that being said, you got to kick off the NFL season with FanDuel, okay? Right now, you get what? This is something else. If your first $5 bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. That's a lot of parlays, okay? That's a lot of future bets. And again, when does this whole thing start? 6 days? Right? You got to use FanDuel, okay? It's easy, it's quick, and it's the best way to, add a little bit more energy to your Sundays or your Thursdays or your Mondays. Man, oh man, I cannot wait for the NFL to come back. So what? Are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app by visiting FanDuel.com to get that started. That's FanDuel.com. And yeah, again, just place that $5 bet. If you win, boom, bam. If you're a first-time customer, $300. That's something else. People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks and reading your comments here on Locked On Canucks. Greener saying Rutherford did not say anything that wasn't already known. He just stamped it and made it official. I guess so. But I'll just preface again. We're all smart people. We're tapped in. Everyone's talking about it. We've seen it in the past, but we don't need you to. Do we need you to give it a stamp of officiality after a 2-game winning streak? Like, I don't know. Because again, maybe it was inevitable that Miller and Pettersson were going to blow up, and it was going to have to lead to this a trade. But I don't know. Something tells me if this team went on a 6-game winning streak, something different would have happened. Maybe you get more leverage, right? And trade down the road when it came to, dishing out a 100-point center on a pretty good contract, right? As opposed to getting, I don't know, I'm not going to say pennies on the dollar because I got some hope in Hedl and Valentino Martini Mancini. And all of a sudden, Marcus Pettersson is my favorite Pettersson, right? I've come around to it. So it's not pennies off the dollar for JT Miller, but maybe there is a way to, I don't know, do more, get more back, accumulate assets, and then maybe you're on the running to bring Luke here, Do it differently when involving a trade or a player in a trade that's at Miller's caliber. Because at one point, like, The year before this, I mean, we just talked about the Micah Parsons trade to Green Bay. Again, I'm not comparing Micah Parsons to JT Miller, but if Micah Parsons can get 2 first-round picks and a pretty good player still to compete, JT Miller would have gotten that right away. Like, in another world, it's 2 first-round picks. It's Filipino and Valentino Martini. I don't know. It's still crazy to me at that time. And I know so many things happened, but it's still crazy to me being a Canucks fan and being a little bitter and just having a number 1 center at the time that we didn't get more. To some extent, an organizational mess. Unless, again, Valentino Martini is, in fact, Victor Mancini and is a top 4 defenseman. Again, excuse me, maybe Marcus Pettersson is, and his chemistry with Tom Willander and Elias Pettersson is more important than JT Miller's chemistry with Elias Pettersson, right? You never know. You never know. That's what I got to smoke now. And yeah, maybe Filipino, again, the goal scorer. This guy wants to score goals. He's eccentric. He's got a smile on his face. Maybe this team needed more guys like that. Valentino Martini, Mancini III, very much the same way. Just seemed like, and again, sometimes nice guys finish last, but they just seem like nice guys. Good guy, good refresher for that room. A good refresher to have around Elias Pettersson. Maybe you get the most out of him, and when that's the case, you got a way better player than JT Miller. Maybe getting the most out of him by creating an environment that helps him out more, takes it to the next step, and that makes the Cheadle and Mancini thing even more impressive or more important. And maybe I'm looking at this JT Miller thing all wrong for like the 100th time, but I will say, again, going back to Rutherford's comments, going back to the strategy, going back to giving us access to public knowledge that we already knew, and, he just wanted to stamp it. It's like after a 2-game winning streak, I don't know, a part of me just, I don't want my favorite sports teams being emotional to the public. That's just a me thing, okay? Anyways, more comments, because what else are we going to talk about? It's Friday, August 29th. I should be walking the dog and reading a book right now. Man, oh man. Dan Jardine saying Rutherford and Alvin are a hit or miss on the trade front and have been better at drafting players. I mean, if you want to do the whole comparison to like the Jerry Jones thing in Rutherford and then tie Alvin into this, I mean, that's where there's a difference. At least there's 2 people leading an organization as opposed to 1. I don't think Alvin is a puppet. Now, I think he is similar to Rutherford, but I do think he holds a lot of weight in whatever's happening with the Vancouver Canucks. But to touch on the comment, the trade front, have they been hit or miss? That's probably the best way to put it. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt for doing a lot. And I would say some of that has been impressive and good. And what I mean by that is I'm not really looking at what happened in 2023, 2024 with the Zadorov trade and the Lindholm trades as a miss based on only getting to the second round. I kind of like the forward thinking. I also think we didn't give up the most. And I know Lindholm sucked in the regular season, quote unquote, but no, there was a recipe there in the playoffs for that guy to be impressive and make an impact, get a team, closer to the finish line. Again, if Pettersson and Demko are healthy against the Oilers, we win that series, I would say, kind of easily, okay? Crazy to say that, but I didn't say Bluger and Talapilo. I said Demko and Pettersson. So again, what Alvin and Rutherford did last year via trades, I think that's incredible. But again, the Miller thing, it definitely, made it a little bit more even when it came to evaluating completely what they've done on the trade front. Now, with drafting players, Willander and Braden Coots, like if Quinn sticks around long term, those 2 guys are going to mesh so well with whatever the Canucks are trying to build. You know it, I know it. They seem more like Quinn Hughes than they do like a Pedersen, right? They seem dialed in. Like hockey is the only thing that's ever going to matter. It just seems like that. Hey, we're all built differently. It's all good. But I'm just saying, the first round pedigree that gives us a personnel who are just so committed to whatever hockey brings. Clearly guys that want to just get better and want to lead. And again, guys who just, they sound like Quinn Hughes when you listen to them too. Now, Willander sounds a little different. That's not even to do with the accent. Like, he actually sounds like a movie star, like he sounds, sometimes he sounds overly confident, but hey, I think that's a good thing because I believe in his skill level. But all in all, it just sounds as if hockey really, really matters to those guys. Next comment. Dan Jardine also saying Alvin is also less interesting than Rutherford. He also says, I love Rutherford from an entertainment perspective, but as a Canucks fan, I'm often shouting at him to shut the puck up. I know, man. Me and Dan Jardine, look at Dan Jardine's photo. Look at me. We look very similar. We've been around the block, okay? We've been on this earth a long time. I'm surprised this show is not sponsored by Just for Men, okay? I've been scouting the boxes. I'm learning. Come on. Look at the hairline. You can see it push back a lot more. Dude, I'm getting older. He's getting older. And the entertainment, to me, with my favorite teams, I like laughing or, being entertained when there's so much drama, public drama, especially coming from the team's brass. Like, if there's any sound bites coming from players and presidents and general managers and owners, and it's, whoa, wow. Oh, I can't believe that's happening. Did you hear what he said? In sports, you need that, but I like it from the other teams. Because the only thing entertaining I find about my team, at the end of the day, especially at the age of 32 and a half years old, it's winning games. And on the other end of that spectrum, losing, yes, losing sucks. And if you look at the sound bites Rutherford gave last year, and even Alvin as well, as a Canucks fan, they weren't that fun. We weren't bragging about saying things like, I told you so. We were depressed. We were pissed off. Just keep it in the bedroom, man. Anyways, let's get to the other side. Talk more about the Canucks. I know you guys got more comments. What are we going to do on the third part of the show? Should we talk about Elias Pettersson's NHL 26 rate? Come on. Give me some comments. Ask me some Canucks questions. How about you guys ask me who my favorite Canuck of all time is? Anyways, you're watching and listening to Locked On Canucks. And Matt, oh Matt, we have a promo for you. And this one's a big one. Hey, this one might be a big one for the haters, man. For real. Their time to shine. Hopefully not. You guys got to get on the action, okay? The quote-unquote good guys, okay? We have an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer some questions about our advertising. Yo, say nice things, please, okay? So do us a favor. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey. Everyone who competes in the survey or completes the survey, competes, that's a strong word, will be entered for a chance to win 10 $100 gift cards at Amazon. That's easy. Go be nice to us and you might win $100, okay? That's locked-on/survey, lockedon.com/survey. You'll find the link, fill out the survey, and just Trevor, come on. Trevor's a full-time reporter. What if he gets fired from podcasting because the surveys are bad 3 weeks later? It's not going to, come on. Save a man's life. People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Hit the like button, share the show with another Canucks fan. And, as I said in the little break over there, happy wife, happy life, happy wives, happy lives. And, I'm not married yet, but Trevor and I are both in love, not with each other, but, with, beautiful women. And they I don't know. It'd be nice to, respond to a little, like, yo, when are we going to go on vacation? You always say you're going to make more money. Dude, if I show them, the like button on the YouTube videos and it's like at, I don't know, 18, she might leave me alone. She might actually believe that the Birkin is coming. Anyways, let's read some comments. Supersonic asking, what is your outlook on Braden Coots? Do you think he could be the next Braden Point at some point? Or the Braden Point that the Canucks need? That was a bit of a tongue twister. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I'm not a prospect guru. I've seen the same highlights you've seen. I've listened to the same interviews you listen to. I can guarantee that. Maybe you know more. Congratulations. But just based on that one highlight where he decked somebody after scoring a shorthanded goal, because in the process of him doing the most and scoring that shorthanded goal, he got pushed into the net. And again, somewhat of a brouhaha started right after he scored, and he got the better of the other guy, and he reminded me a lot of Sam Bennett. And Sam Bennett's one of the most must-have players in the league. That's what it feels like. That's what he's done. That's what happens when you make 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, okay? Sam Bennett, Micah Parsons, same guy. It feels like that because the winning fixes everything, and that guy knows what to do when wins matter the most. So Braden Coots, again, listen to what he's been saying, watch some Sam Bennett highlights, and just hope for that. Did I just say I'd much rather have Sam Bennett over Braden Point? That is crazy. Okay. I didn't say that. That's where your mind is going. Next comment. Greener saying, you build from the net out. This team is in a great spot. Top 6, especially top 3, 4 talent is and should only be the focus right now as far as additions go. Whoa. We got Trevor here, man. You gotta block out some of the noise that's coming from your mic, but you got Trevor Beggs here. I think it was his last day of his job, and now he's walking home. He had to sell the car because now he's a journalist and not a financial advisor. Okay, so he's walking,
taking the bus now.
Hey, it is what it is. You can't, family first, Trevor. You have to do what you have to do. I don't know, Trevor. You didn't even tell me you were coming, so I'll just ask you a simple question. It was basically what we talked about all episode long, and it's simple. Are you afraid that Jim Rutherford is the next Jerry Jones?
There's definitely similarities there, right? I don't think he's quite the next Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones has a bigger ego than Jim Rutherford. Jim Rutherford, let's walk through a spider web. Oh my God, here we go. Jim Rutherford, good old Canadian boy. I don't think he quite has the bravado and the ego that Jerry Jones does. They're both similar in the sense that they shoot through the hip. They're entertaining for media, and in a sense, they're maybe not great for their teams. So, I don't know. Jim Rutherford's also had more recent success in the NHL than Jerry Jones has had in the NFL, right?
Okay,
with Rutherford, Rutherford, I know he took over a good Penguins team, but helped that team, win back-to-back cups in the last 10 years. And whereas the Dallas Cowboys, I'm just glad I'm not a Cowboys fan, right? With that NFC title or Super Bowl drought. It's been a long time for the Dallas Cowboys. And you still hear Jerry Jones talking about how back in the 90s, we won the Super Bowl. And it's like, shut up, Jerry. That was 57 years ago.
Shut up, Jerry, man. They got to put that on a shirt. Now, I don't know if you heard Jerry Jones's press conference, but he called Micah Parsons multiple times Michael Parsons, okay? You would think Rick Dollywall was in charge, doing that press conference, okay? For real. Or Kyle Bowen. But, no, I'm not even going to bring it up. I was going to ask a question. I was going to say, what if Rutherford started calling Quinn Christopher? What would you do? And I'm like, you know what, Trevor, I'm not going to get you in trouble, man, because you're going to have to, you're in the same building as him. You're kind of working with Jim Rutherford now, so let's not get you in trouble, man.
That's all right, man. I can't change, Kyle. Like you said, fan first program. I got to speak my mind. I can't change, so don't worry about me, buddy.
Okay, so if Jim Rutherford starts calling Quinn Hughes Christopher Hughes, are you going to write a letter to Aquilini saying, yo, it's time to let this guy go because it's science. Mother
I
Nature,
will-
father time. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, if he starts writing letters calling him Christopher, then yeah, I'm absolutely going to say it's time to let Rutherford go because the proper thing to do would be Quinton, okay? Quinton. Come on, you should call him Christopher. That's not even his name, man. Unbelievable. Quinton. Well, right now the standard's been set because he's been calling him Quinn. If he starts calling him Quinton, you know he's upset. So I don't know if that's firing territory, but I wouldn't spell good news for Canucks fans.
Yeah, I mean, and that'll never happen too because I guarantee Quinn Hughes is never going to make any hockey people upset. I don't know, Trevor. Any last words? Like you just jumped in out of nowhere, and I would just. You're actually a good person to talk to because people don't know this. Trevor is actually an old person expert. He used to be an professional old homes worker. And I don't know. Me and you're getting older too, and I'm seeing Jerry Jones at 80. I don't know. Just reminded me of Joe Biden. Like, yo, something's going on. Like, if you're president of, like, we used to get pissed off at Jim Benning based on how he would represent us to the whole league, to the whole country. Yo, if I'm a Cowboys fan, you know how I'm so embarrassed that guy is the one writing all the PR and executing all the PR for the Dallas Cowboys. Because again, one of the biggest trades in franchise history, one of the biggest trades in NFL history and recent history, involving a generational talent. I mean, Micah Parsons, I read like 18 articles on this guy. This guy is just incredible. I'm the luckiest man in the world to have Micah Parsons and my girlfriend by my side. If your GM and president is not saying his name correctly and not based on pronunciation, but basically because you don't even know his name or because your brain is just, you're not operating at a full capacity because you're 82 years old and that's okay. And you've also worked your whole life. Like eventually you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You're talking about being in the NFL. You know how hard it is to win in professional sports? Like at the top, you need guys who are on it. And that's just proof to me. The guy's not even pronouncing names right. He's not on it. And yo, look at Rutherford. And not that long ago, what president is really coming out and saying, your franchise player, one of the best players in franchise history, one of the best defensemen of all time, wants to go play with his brothers. So you know what? I'm paraphrasing, but let's go find a way to get those guys here. Who's saying that?
Yeah, and I think that's why we're all curious to hear what Rutherford's going to say heading into this upcoming Canucks season. And I'm glad I'm going to be there with boots on the ground for Daily Hive and for here on Locked On Canucks. But Kyle, I think you hit the nail on the head. That's one of the main reasons why Jim Rutherford isn't Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones, he lets his ego get in the way. He wants to be the owner. He wants to be the GM. He wants to be the president. He's still calling all the shots at 82 years old. Like, give it a rest, man. The Cowboys haven't been relevant in years. Okay, and sure, they've drafted well and they've had some pieces and had playoff teams, but they haven't been relevant in a long time. And Jerry Jones, he needs to let it go. Jim Rutherford, I think he knows that he shouldn't be a GM anymore, or that it's time for another guy. So I think Jim Rutherford likes the mentorship, whereas Jerry Jones, I don't think he likes the mentorship. I just think he wants to be the guy all the time, man. And I guess my only other closing thought is, I walked out here, cleaned it up, last day at the job, saw you recording, and I'm over the moon about what's in store for us here on Locked On Canucks, with me being around the team full time, baby. Trevor Banks, Kyle Bowen, follow along, subscribe, do all that good stuff.
You better start brushing your teeth, bro. You better start chewing gum. You better start, getting if I were you, I'd be carrying a flask around with Listerine, Trevor.
Can you smell my breath? Is that what?
No,
when teeth yellow?
No, I'm not saying your breath stinks. I'm just saying every inch matters, bro. Trust me, bro.
It's true. Yep. Hey, if you smell bad, you're gonna turn a guy off.
Every inch matters. Let's get out of here.
Every inch matters, man. All right. Well, one love to you and you for tuning in. Sorry for crashing the party, but I love doing this Locked On Canucks, even if I just hop in for a few minutes. Again, I'm stoked for what's in store. Make sure you're subscribed. Follow us on or wherever you listen to podcasts. Have a great long weekend, or wherever you listen to this. Just enjoy life, baby, because that's what we're doing here on Locked On Canucks.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.